AM 590, KXSP Omaha's ESPN Radio. It's time for the Front Stretch, brought to you by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Online at joeskarting.com.
Thank you for joining us this morning. This is the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Booking, prices, hours, it's all located online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. You can also give them a call at 712-256-5278. And it's got to be about the closest thing you can get to as far as getting a taste of what it's like for Bud and Andrew to be in the cars. Bud, for you, hopefully they won't wreck and destroy their car every time they're in at Joe's Karting.
Not on first lap. Usually we can go a full 16 laps without much of an issue there.
But you can get down to Joe's Karting. These things, they don't have governors on them, which I love. I even found a governor on my truck. Your carts don't have governors, so they could probably outrun my truck.
They can. Yeah. It's a known fact.
It's, you know what? It's a great little two-cylinder truck. I love it. It's you really got to catch the wind and the hill at the right time if you want to do any kind of passing. But,
yeah. I mean, for you to go 45 mile an hour to be an act of God in that truck.
But get down to Joe's Karting today, 23rd Avenue in Council Bluffs. Google them, check them out. It's a great little location for you to get some racing in. And like I was mentioning, there's no governors, so the only speed restriction is how fast you are. And I'll give everybody a little bit of a tip when you're racing at Joe's Karting. This is going to sound so stupid, but if you brake, you go faster.
Slower is faster in the corners. One thing I do want to mention this week is Memorial Day. Tomorrow, Monday, we are open 2 to 10.
You guys are open tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, about 2 o'clock, I'm going to be about sick and tired of my family, so I'll be there.
Sounds good. I'd be sick and tired, too, of my family. I mean, well, then again, we are talking to your family.
That's why you're opening
just looking at you. Just looking at you. I'm sick of you already.
Well, this is Turn 1, and it's brought to you by Auto Connection in Lincoln, 21st and P. Triple-digit temperatures are just around the corner, and now's the time to get your cooling system in full working condition. Give Kevin and all the great techs a call today at 402-477-8200. You can also go online at autorepairlincolnne.com. It's autorepairlincolnne.com.
Great guys.
Coming up in Turn 4, we're going to talk with Andrew Kaczynski in the infield report about the new cars that are coming into the NASCAR circuit in 2013. Toyota's going to be releasing their new car. Chevy's going to be releasing their new car, and I believe Ford has already released their new car. But
what about Dodge?
Dodge got theirs. Yep, we talked about Dodge earlier this season.
There you go.
We're also going to see if they're actually going to be in NASCAR next season. So that's all going to happen in this silly season. In Turn 3, we're going to continue our local driver interview as we actually do sit down with Bill Layton Jr. Apologize, we had it scheduled for last weekend, but due to technical difficulties, don't laugh at me. We were unable to play it. So, Bill and everybody, I know you got some people to listen to you. One more week, I apologize. You'll have to listen to this show. In Turn 3, we're going to talk to Bill Layton Jr., driver of the number 24 late model. You're not going to want to miss that. Great conversation with Bill as we were able to sit down with him earlier in the week. In Turn 2, it's the Fast Five, the 5 stories that are dominating the NASCAR world. But before we get to all of that, let's talk Coca-Cola 600 that's just going to kick off in here in a few hours and is the longest race on the NASCAR circuit. I don't mean distance, I mean time-wise. It's typically about a 5-hour race. I mean, 600 miles is a long ways to go, even for the NASCAR boys. So we're going to see a lot of different things today. One of the things I've been hearing all week long is that crew chiefs and drivers really have to make sure that they prep themselves properly, because when you set your car up for the green flag, it is going to be completely different by the checkered flag, because sun's going to go down, track's going to cool down, the track is going to tighten up, which is going to mean if your car was loose to start with, you're going to have a much better car at the end. But if your car was tight to start with, you're in a world of hurt.
What do you think about that, Andrew?
You know, I don't know too much about that, honestly, about the long distance with the NASCAR stuff. I know, thinking with us in the dirt world, did you think you can go about 600 laps? I mean, we know we only do 25 laps, but I mean, just think a 50-lap race out there, bud. Are you going to be set up for something like that?
With me on a 50-lap race, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten my car up quite a bit. So as the race goes on, my rear percentage is going to drop, my bite's going to drop, and it's going to loosen and free the car up, so the car will loosen up and free up by the end of the 50 laps.
In a couple comparisons to this, I mean, for you guys, when you do your heat races, the track is in one condition, and then by the time you get to your feature race, the track has been driven on so much that I know sitting in the stands, you can definitely start to see that wear, the tire rub in, and then even the track taking on rubber. Is it that big of a difference when you guys go from your heat
absolutely.
to your feature?
Definitely. It's definitely a huge difference, mainly because in the heat, we like to say anybody can drive in the mud. Dan, you could jump in a car and you'd feel great in the mud because you have so much traction. The car is basically doing almost nothing to the car. It's basically just the driver has to hammer down and be able to keep control of it. When the track slickens off, that's when, at the feature events, that's when it really takes a good setup and a good driver to figure out what they have to do to make that car stay square through the corners, not spinning the tires. It's really a lot difficult than people think out there.
It's not real easy. I tell a lot of people it's a lot like driving on ice. It is in a way, and it's not. The car tends to slide around a lot more in the dry slick. But the one thing, I know Andrew's been told this, he's told others, I've told others, imagine driving your Ranger down Dodge Street with an eggshell between the floorboard and the gas pedal. That's what we're driving like on that dry slick. So it's a lot of driver finesse and feel.
And obviously trying not to break that egg is what you're getting at
Absolutely.
there. Not cracking it by the pressure of the gas.
Right.
Hammering that gas pedal down. And that may be some of the reasons why you've not had a very good start to your season, which I'm not laughing again. I'm just simply...
Take it easy, bud.
So the Coca-Cola 600, it's a 1.5 mile quad oval super speedway, and this is something that the drivers talked about during the All-Star race last week. Was the downforce changes that NASCAR has made to the car to try to make them more, to make them a little bit more competitive, because the kind of racing we've seen through super speedways so far has been very little passing. If it's any kind of idea of what we got at the All-Star race, there was drivers like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Marcus Ambrose, Kurt Busch. They were able to pass fairly easily. If you had a good car, but you were stuck in the back, you were still able to make your way through the field, and you didn't have to rely on drafting 100%.
I wasn't really paying attention that those new body rules actually went into effect at the All-Star race, and it made the race a lot more exciting and entertaining.
You take out those last 10 laps, and it was very good racing. It was a lot of jostling for position, a lot of guys trying to get that lead away. But unfortunately, Jimmy Johnson had such a good car that there was no.
I don't know if he
race.
had a good car. He just had another big wheelbarrow filled with golden horseshoes.
There was nothing luck about that car. He had his car dialed in.
He had it dialed in. He was pretty good.
And that's someone that we're going to have to talk about in turn 4 when we make our picks. Who's going to take Johnson? Because I think that's someone that Vegas is not taking bets on, because it's such a surefire win with his dominance at the the Coca-Cola 600 and Charlotte Motor Speedway. Him and Chad Knaus have dropped off a little bit the last couple of years. Ever since they repaved Charlotte Motor Speedway. But his dominance last weekend at the All-Star race just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you'd never know that they dropped off at all.
Yeah, that was their statement that, oh, by the way, we're back. And, and that guy is hungry, very hungry. So back-to-back wins for Jimmy Johnson in that Lowe's team. So some statistics for you guys. May winner for Kevin Harvick at the Coca-Cola 600. Excuse me. I said that all sorts of all wronged. I meant to say wronged. The May winner for the Coca-Cola 600 was Kevin Harvick. The October winner was Matt Kenseth. So we've seen some extremely fast speeds at Coca-Cola, even though it's one of the longer tracks.
At Charlotte, not Coca-Cola.
I keep saying that.
We're going to race at Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Which got passed by Dr. Pepper Tail drafting off the Pepsi.
So that's the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway that's coming up in just a couple of hours. Our trivia question for today, I've got a really good one. I don't know if you guys know the answer to this, but who did Dale Earnhardt Sr. make the pass in the grass on during one hot night a couple of years ago during what was called the Winston at the time, the All-Star race that we knew? So who did Dale Earnhardt Sr. make the pass in the grass? And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. I hate that name. I absolutely hate that name. Is if I was to walk up to you guys and say, hey, it was the pass in the grass, you would expect somebody to do some passing, right?
Yes.
Have you seen the pass in the grass?
Yeah, I did it at Crawford County Speedway.
Well,
gosh.
You have to complete a lap first.
Yeah, that's very true.
But the pass in the grass, everybody has heard this. Everybody's seen it. And all it was Bill Elliott Jr. pushing Dale Earnhardt Jr. Bill Elliott pushing Dale Earnhardt Sr. down as far as he could to try to take his momentum away. And Earnhardt just said, okay, you're going to force me off the track? I'll go into the grass. But there was never a pass, and it just irritates the living bejesus out of me. Am I just being uptight about this?
Well, I think why it's so famous is because those cars aren't meant to go on that grass and dirt. It was supposed to spin out right there, and Dale Earnhardt is why he's the king and the best, not the king, the intimidator, and why he's the best racer probably ever to live is because he can do stuff like that.
It was an amazing move, But the thing that
I
irritates
thought it
me,
was. I thought it was a great move.
I think it's pretty amazing.
the thing that irritates me is it's called the pass in the grass, and it wasn't a pass. It was the move in the grass.
There you go.
I want to just kill that saying. It's catchy, but it doesn't. They don't call him the Bronx Bomber because he was good at bunting. They didn't call John Elway the comeback kid because he lost the most fourth quarter games. You know, it's just you can't call it the pass in the grass if it's not the pass in the grass.
I'm just looking at Dan like
Silence. I have officially dumbfounded you guys. We're talking about the pass in the grass because that is this week's trivia question. Who did Dale Earnhardt Sr. make the pass in the grass on? Answer that question. Go to our Facebook page, become a friend, comment on it on our wall, and you're going to get yourself. Are we back to three races because the Boswell bounty is officially off?
the Boswell bounty is officially off, so anybody can answer this.
Head over to the Facebook page, answer the question, and you're going to get yourself 3 passes to Joe's Karting, some free racing, and maybe you can stop down on Memorial Day and redeem your races. So head over there, become a fan of the Facebook page. The Facebook page is The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting. You can search for it in your search bar. Like us, comment what the answer is, the first one to get it, and if they get it by turn 2, then they're going to win themselves by the end of turn 2. Then they're going to win themselves 3 passes to Joe's Karting.
The one thing I do want to say is I got to talk on the phone to last week's winner, Aaron Roth. Great guy, listens every morning. Just wanted to send out a hearty Sunday morning hello to him. So,
and
great guy.
Thank you for ending Chris Boswell's dominance on the trivia.
Thank you.
We greatly, greatly appreciate it. This has been Turn 1, and it was presented by Auto Connection in Lincoln at 21st and P Street. It's going to get hot out there really quickly, so make sure you get your cooling system in full working condition. Otherwise, you could have some heated temperatures in your engine, and we all know the biggest enemy to engine is heat. Make sure you keep it cool so you can keep your car on the road and you can get from point A to point B without an issue. Give Kevin and all the guys at Auto Connection a call today at 402-477-8200. You can also go online, autorepairlincolnne.com, autorepairlincolnne.com. They're located right there, 21st and P Street in Lincoln. So, great guys over there at Auto Connection. We really appreciate them joining the show and helping us out. We'll be right back with Turn 2 as we're going to get into the Fast 5. It's the Front Stretch presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.